Hey guys, Wildman TX here. Just want to show you some more farming raids. As I've said in some of my other videos, some of the most important aspects of any game like DomiNations is farming, is how to get the loot in the quickest amount of time period without costing too much food or too much gold. So let me show you these two raids that I just went through here. So I'll start with this one right here, and you notice the amount of gold and food that I got. I'm not too concerned with the oil at this point. That's kind of a bonus thrown in on the side. One of the first things you got to do is figure out what league to get in. I like to stay in between a silver 2 and a silver 3. And you notice I just drop all of my troops down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen here. I'm using 26 Praetorian Fusiliers. That's my meat shield that's going to do the majority of my initial damage and wipe out this whole row of buildings. Then I drop in my 46 musketeers behind them, and they're going to keep my cannons alive. It's these 4 cannons right here, boom, that are going to keep my cannons alive. And you notice here I focused in on this catapult, because whether you have catapults or mortars, that's what's going to do the main damage to this particular army composition. Then to keep your musketeers, who are trying to kill the enemy troops that spawn, to try to keep your musketeers alive, because they've got pretty low hit points, it's these supply wagons. And so you see how I spread everything out nice and even, and I don't even really have to worry too much. There is a catapult right there I'm going to go ahead and focus on just because I want this particular cannon to take it out. Then at this point, once all 3 mortars are out, and you'll notice I got most of my troops still up, this one is pretty easy. And so I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward here. You see we just let it progress naturally. I've got groups on the sides. I've got a group going through the middle. And this base afforded me a nice open area with which to deploy all my troops. What you really don't want is all of these troops to get bunched up, because 1 or 2 splash damage defensive buildings will do some serious damage. And so you see here that I lost 3 of my cannons. I wasn't too happy about that, but I didn't lose any of my supply wagons. You're going to lose all of your Praetorian Fusiliers, just get used to that, but I only lost half of my musketeers. So I can retrain this for about 40 to 50,000 food, and you see I got 248,000 food. Really it's that gold that I was interested in. Not too interested in the trophies at this point. If I get a 5-star, that's fine. If I get a 1-star, that's fine. Because my league bonuses are so low, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. All right, so let me show you my second attack here. And you see, once again, I've got a pretty good feel for finding these bases, and in regards to only looking for big loot. One thing you have to be able to do is be willing to say next, next, next. Pass on those low loot bases. And so I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of slide on the bottom right-hand corner. Praetorian Fusiliers come in first, and then I drop my musketeers, and then I drop my 3 supply wagons, spread them out, and then I've got my cannons, boom, boom, boom. And there's my 4th one right there. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all these troops out as quickly as possible. I'm worried about that mortar right there, but it's out, and I didn't even have to use my feature that lets my troops rally. I don't like to do that if possible, because it tends to bunch up. And what I'm noticing here is, look at these 3 cannons. They're just acting completely stupid, and they're going to get wiped out big time because my big group is up here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a rally right up there. You don't want to rally on a building, because then once that building is destroyed, then these cannons would have gone back down there. If I rally on the ground, it means every single unit has to go to that spot before they're released to follow their AI. So that's going to bring all of my troops back up here. This particular catapult was under construction, so I'm not too worried about it. And we're going to spread out a little bit here, but you see I've got my big group of guys right here, and it's these musketeers that I'm wanting to keep alive. I'm concerned a little bit about that mortar right there. It's going to do some splash damage, but right now it's targeting just these few guys that are up there. It's not necessarily targeting my big group that's right there. And so I'm going to go ahead and let this develop a little bit. I've got my supply wagons down there, and I'm a little bit concerned that my supply wagons aren't near my cannons, but then just right when I said that, the AI took over and decided the supply wagons needed to go back up there. So at this point, it's just cleanup. You're looking for mortars. You're looking for keeping your cannons alive with your supply wagons, redirecting if necessary, but don't do it too often. And if you do, don't do it on a building. because if you redirect on a building, once the building is done, the troops that haven't got to that point yet will just walk away. So there's my second attack. Hopefully this helps you guys.